The first step is to gain trust. If you want to cross some chasm somewhere, you need to throw a rope across. There needs to be someone on the other side who will catch it. Both sides need to be firmly tied to some kind of anchor. But before you put any weight on it, it needs to be tested to see if it'll hold. And there's sort of a similar back and forth process as we build relationships with people. I mean, most people are not ready to listen to your life-changing advice the first time they meet you. There may be exceptions to that. God can certainly prepare someone's heart to listen. But most of the time, a connection needs to be built. You have to gain their trust. I think maybe that's what Proverbs 11:30 is talking about when it says, "The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise." Instead of captures, most English translations speak of winning souls. Whoever wins souls is wise. It's kind of an unusual phrase. It's not used anywhere else in the Old Testament. The idea seems to be that the life-giving influence of righteousness requires a bond. People must be won over. Their trust must be gained. And that requires time and effort. But relationships like that are a wise and worthwhile investment. And I think we see those dynamics at play here in Paul's relationship with the centurion who's responsible for guarding him. Now, Paul must have made a good impression on him from the outset because he's very quick to extend a surprising degree of trust. Acts 27, verses 1 through 3. Let's take a look. It says, "And when it was decided that we should sail for Italy, they delivered Paul and some other prisoners to a centurion of the Augustan cohort named Julius. And embarking in a ship of Adramyttium, which was about to sail to the parts along the coast of Asia, we put to sea, accompanied by Aristarchus, a Macedonian from Thessalonica. The next day we put in at Sidon, and Julius treated Paul kindly and gave him leave to go to his friends and be cared for." So, since the author says we put to sea, it's clear that both Aristarchus and Luke are allowed to accompany Paul. And they seem to be on a merchant vessel, not a military ship. So rather than heading west across the open sea, they take the safer route, making their way north along the coast for a day or so before stopping at Sidon. It's not really that far, just a first stop. Yet surprisingly, Julius already trusts Paul enough to let him go visit friends there. He doesn't seem to be worried at all that Paul's going to try to escape. And so Paul has his visit, and they continue their journey. Verses 4 through 8 tell us, "And putting out to sea from there, we sailed under the lee of Cyprus, because the winds were against us. And when we had sailed across the open sea along the coast of Cilicia and Pamphylia, we came to Myra in Lycia. There the centurion found a ship of Alexandria sailing for Italy and put us on board. We sailed slowly for a number of days and arrived with difficulty off Cnidus. And as the wind did not allow us to go further, we sailed under the lee of Crete off Salmone. Coasting along it with difficulty, we came to a place called Fair Havens, near which was the city of Lycia." So the winds are getting difficult. But after switching ships in Myra, the coast of Asia, on the coast of Asia Minor, they make their way finally to a safe spot on the south side of the island of Crete. Now that's when Paul decides to speak up. He offers some advice. And the question is whether Julius, the centurion, will trust him enough to listen. Verses 9 through 12 say, "Since much time had passed and the voyage was now dangerous because even the fast was already over," it's talking about the fast that's part of the Day of Atonement, so it's in the fall. Paul advised them, saying, "Sirs, I perceive that the voyage will be with injury and much loss, not only of the cargo in the ship, but also of our lives. Verse 11, but the centurion paid more attention to the pilot and to the owner of the ship than to what Paul said. And because the harbor was not suitable to spend the winter in, the majority decided to put out to sea from there on the chance that somehow they could reach Phoenix, a harbor of Crete, facing both southwest and northwest, and spend the winter there. So Paul's just advising caution, but his opinion doesn't carry much weight. And that's going to change when this short hop to the next harbor on the coast of Greece, or of Crete, goes bad. And Paul's warning is proven right. And yet there's a lesson there. Sometimes that's how the trust building process works. Because we'll see that their failure to trust Paul and listen to him gives him the opportunity to take another step in exerting greater influence.